Welcome to Redvee TV's Instant Fan Reaction, supported by A-Star Recruitment for the 2021 season, as we are reflecting on a double winning Saints Saturday, as Saints women claim the Challenge Cup with a 34 points to 6 victory over York City Knights, and the men have made it a famous day by making it to the Challenge Cup final as they defeated Hull FC 33 points to 18. Kevin, if Carlsberg made Saturdays, they'd make better ale, but they wouldn't change the results.
They wouldn't. They might change the manner of that, the men's game results, because it wasn't good for the blood pressure as Hull were getting back into it. But yeah, you're right. Results-wise, just look at them on paper. Challenge Cup winners and Challenge Cup finalists. Tremendous, tremendous Saturday.
Start off by talking about the women, because do you know what? The day really should belong to them. Absolutely fantastic performance. First 5 or 10 minutes, maybe a little bit nervy, but once they got into the stride, I thought they were absolutely phenomenal on the day.
Yeah, I just think they needed to settle down, didn't they? Looked like they were playing the occasion rather than the game, and kind of not playing to the full potential that they have done at the start of this season. But then once they got the noses in front, that was it. Skill, class, fitness, everything like that just kind of came to the fore. And unfortunately for York, they were better in every single department. And they played the game without the first choice scrum half. After Faye Gaskin got injured after 16 minutes, just as Saints went in for the first try.
Yeah, obviously you've really got a feel for Faye. She sets up the first try, she jumps to celebrate, and the try scorer rolls over her leg, and it bent at a horrible angle, and you really feel for it. Do you know what? If somebody could have any more bad luck, I don't know.
It's freak, isn't it? It's just freak.
You couldn't make it.
It's just bent. No, you couldn't.
But this Saints side and this squad is made of far more, isn't it? And obviously Jodie Cunningham went into the halves. And we didn't miss a beat. Amy Hardcastle, fantastic once again. Paige Travis, really good. Danielle Bush, really good. Just an all-round dominating performance. And some of the rugby we played, especially for a couple of them tries in the first half, in the real Saints tradition and the Saints style.
Yeah, definitely. That's it. You could go through a lot of the team and start picking them out. Rachel Woozy, Carrie Roberts on that right-hand side were tremendous, and just as good as the left-hand side of Amy Hardcastle and Danny Bush. Listen, once we got on that roll, as I say, we started to be able to throw the ball about. We've not even mentioned the player of the match in Emily Rudge there. Such was the performance from Saints. I think we tweeted out that you could have given it to a handful of players, the player of the match. Jodie Cunningham was involved in everything, though, and it just shows the quality that she's playing with the number one on her back. So usually you'd expect to see her at fullback. She's played a lot of her rugby this year at 13, but then she slots into scrum half, and it seemed like every try we were scoring, the ball was going through her hands. And you could just see the kind of composure that she gave us. It wasn't a worry that we were having to kind of chop and change in the halves and bring another forward on. It was just, as you say, it was seamless. And yeah, we said in the build-up to the game that I liked it because it was a lot more open. And I tell you what, it was such an entertaining game for a final. I think finals sometimes can be a little bit cagey. And as we say, they didn't start the brightest, start the sharpest. But once they got into the stride, you could just see that they're so comfortable playing with each other. So literally, the combinations that they have all work brilliantly.
Obviously, York City did get on the board. I was amazed to see that up until that point, I don't think we'd used the video ref, or later in the game used the video ref at all. And it was quite obvious that Rebecca Rotherham actually grounded the ball, and we probably should have nilled York City Knights in the end. But Marcus Griffiths, the referee, didn't choose to go to the screen, and the try gets given, but then later on starts using the screen. It was a little bit bizarre. Did he not realise for the first hour that the screen was there?
Well, I suppose it's one of them that he's reffing what he sees. We've seen that in Challenge Cup finals. We won't mention Morgan Knowles, oops, but they ref what they see, and he's seen, and it's almost one of them that you can see. Rebecca's trying to kind of scoop up the ball and play the ball dead by getting hold of it instead of just putting a hand on it and grounding it and kind of killing the play. But yeah, I was surprised, obviously, that he went up for the Paige Travis try, didn't he, to see if she grounded it properly. I was surprised he didn't have a look of it, even if he'd have sent it up as a try, but it didn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, did it?
No, but do you know what? The smile on our faces, the fans' faces in the ground, and the women who've gone and lifted that cup, it probably sent a little bit of goosebumps down your arms, because at the end of the day, it's St Helens, doesn't matter whether it's male or female. And we've got another trophy on the sideboard. I'm not sure about Jodie Cunningham's Jordan Henderson way of lifting the trophy.
I've no problem with it. I've absolutely no problem. The joy in that, it brings a smile to your face, and you're right. No matter who pulls on that shirt, whether it be, as you say, first team, academy, under 16s, women's team, PDRL, whoever it is, they're representing our town. They're representing our club. And the women have done themselves proud, as well as the club. They've done themselves proud today.
And the fans.
And the fans, yeah. But they've gone out there. They knew they could win it. They knew that they were fitter than York. They probably played together longer than York have as well, because they brought the 7 players in all in 1 week. So, you know what? As you say, it was good. It brought a massive smile to your face. And you know what? Another trophy going into the boardroom, going into the trophy cabinet. More than happy with that.
The happiest person on the pitch for me looked like it was Pip Birchall. Obviously, for those who probably don't know, Pip, I think, is a massive, massive Saints fan. Grew up on the terraces with her dad, Ian, and the rest of the family. And obviously, she'll have been to many cup finals in the past watching the men's team and do their business. So she's probably pinching herself this evening to be in a Saints jersey, lifting a cup above her head on national television. It's like what dreams are made of. Listen, Kev, we're not good enough to do it.
No, exactly.
So somebody like Pip, who was a born and bred Saints fan, grew up over the years. What a night for her tonight.
Yeah, that's it. And when you speak to Pip, sometimes she kind of plays herself down as to, like, she's still got a lot of ambition in the game. And that's good, and that's right, because she is only a young player. But I think sometimes she plays herself down. I don't think she realises kind of where she is in her career and how good she is and then can be. I think she knows she's got improvement in her, which is just for someone so young to be kind of so level and not turn around and think, you know what, yeah, I've got first 13 shirts as well. I'm playing with 11 on my back here. So I'm in the first 13. For someone to be that level-headed, it's great to see. And if someone like Pip Birchall can inspire the next generation of Saints players coming through, they're good on her. Good on her. She's a great girl, this Pip.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, do you know what? No matter what you go and do in life, you'll always be able to look back and say, you're a Challenge Cup winner with St Helens.
Correct. Absolutely right.
It's a medal that I'd like on my sideboard.
Yeah, definitely.
Did anybody sell it? Right. Congratulations to the women. I hope they have a really, really good, I'd say night, but I'd say weekend, because they'll probably roll into tomorrow.
Good on it. Good on them. Why not?
If Nexus was still open, we'd expect them to be in there tonight. Right, on to the second part of the day. And the men have made it to the Challenge Cup final. Never in doubt.
I don't know. They're bad for your health, aren't they? Listen, in the first half, Hull had, early on in the game, they had better field position. But again, it was one of them that we've said it a couple of times on here, that while teams have the ball and have better field position than we do, we always still look comfortable. They alluded to it on telly that the second 20 minutes of the first half was key to the game. I know we'll talk about one incident that happened kind of in the first half as well. But in the second half, it looked like we were almost out on our feet a bit. I think we played with 15 for quite a while. I don't recall Joe Batchelor coming on before the second half. And then I think he went off for a HIA. Dan Norman only came on in the 79th minute. So we've done that tough today, and we've done it. And thankfully, I don't think 33-18 properly replicates the scoreline, especially from a Hull perspective. I think it was closer than that. But I suppose that's the kind of the killer instinct in Saints, that they get that try from Regan Grace and they're not satisfied with that. And they'll go down the other end, and Kevin Nagama forces an error that Lachlan Cooke can mop up. And we go over for another try. It's just how it ends sometimes.
The big talking point from the first half was obviously Josh Griffin's Achilles going. In agony, throws the ball away, 10 yards from his own line. Theo Farge picks up and puts the ball down and scores and increases Saints' lead. Do you know what? It's unfortunate, and we wish Josh Griffin well, but unfortunately, or fortunately for us, Theo is a professional and is paid to do a job for the club and has gone and done it.
I think you're right there. I think, did you tweet cruel as well when we scored? It is, but it's telling that when they were interviewing John Wilkin at halftime, they were talking, Jamie Jones Buchanan, Robbie Hunter-Paul, they all said they'd have done exactly what Theo Farge did. The ideal situation, I think, if you talk about it from a sportsmanship point of view, is the ref pulls it up for a knock-on before Theo's even got over the line.
It went backwards.
No. Did it?
Yeah, he threw it backwards. He should have threw it forwards. Oh, no, but then
well, it'd still be play on. But even if it had turned around and gone, well, my interpretation is the ball's gone forward. That is probably the ideal thing from a sportsmanship point of view. But there's probably no rational thought. If you do your Achilles, I've never done it, thankfully, but the immense pain that I've been told that happens when you do your Achilles, there's no rational thought from him there, is there? And he's just let go of the ball. He's nearly on the floor as it is, and he's let go of the ball.
So,
I know
Kev,
that we've had Hull fans in our mentions turning around saying that it's not that he shouldn't have done it. But I would challenge that 90% of them Hull fans, if not more, if that is Jack Wellesby and Jake Connor picks up the ball and goes in, they wouldn't be turning around now saying to us, "Oh, we should let you walk one in now." Yeah. I absolutely guarantee that 90% of them Hull fans would not say that at all.
So, Kev, I've been on the other end of this a little bit. I was there in 2000 when Everton were playing West Ham. West Ham had equalised a couple of minutes earlier, and the Everton goalkeeper at the time, Paul Gerrard, goes down injured. West Ham cross it to put in an empty net, and Paolo Di Canio catches the ball and stops play. And every Everton fan in the ground laughed and said, "What's he done that for?" I'd have put that in the back of the net, and I'd have been absolutely fuming if that was one of our players who'd done that. And I have to say, I've just pulled up an article. Di Canio later received an award from Gerrard for his fair play, but Hammer's boss, Harry Redknapp, and teammate and big Warrington fan, Stuart Pearce, were far from happy with the Italian's unpromoted act of generosity. "My God, the day he caught the ball at Everton with 5 minutes to go," said Redknapp. "We needed the points badly, and instead of heading this in, he catches the ball so Gerrard can get treatment. I've come off at the end and I'm like, what's he done?" Stuart Pearce comes thundering into the dressing room and says, "Don't let me near him. I'll kill him. I'll kill him. I'm going to rip his head off." 2 minutes later, Harry Redknapp's on Sky. He's going to do an interview and he says, "What a great day for football."
I think that's the thing. As I say, it sticks out that the professionals, obviously with the exception there of Paolo Di Canio, but the professionals are thinking, why is he not finished? Why has he not put it in the net? Why has he not done it? Listen, it's a great gesture, but
and the thing is, Kev, in a split second like that, Theo Farge doesn't know what Josh Griffin's done.
No.
He just sees the ball spill and picks it
He
up.
sees the ball. He might think oh, he's made a mistake because he looks hurt. But it's a split-second decision to look at him, pick up the ball, go over, and almost turn around to the ref and go, "You deal with that. I've played to the whistle. You deal with that. You deal with it how you see fit." He might turn around and say, "Right, I know they can't stop play unless it's a head injury." But he might turn around and say, "You pull something up from that. You turn around and pull something up and take us back and make it almost more of an issue." But as I say, the telling thing is you've got professionals who aren't affiliated with St Helens Rugby League Club turning around and saying, "I'd have done exactly the same as Theo Farge." Unfortunately, in the cold light of day, Theo's done the right thing. He's done the right thing by playing on. And I think everybody else would any other club, if that's Zach Hardacre picking it up, if it's Blake Austin picking it up, if it's Josh Jones picking it up, anybody like that, and they go in for a try, you can't blame them. Even if it happens to us, we may well one day have the same conversation. You've just got to deal with the fact that your player hasn't kept hold of the ball. Whether the rational thought is there or not, it's an error. Somebody pointed out on one of our groups that while not exactly the same scenario, James Bentley broke his leg and got done for a knock-on for it, even though he'd broken his leg. I know it's not exactly the same. Somebody as well was mentioning the '89 Cup final and Phil Beavers getting injured, which is probably more of a pertinent point with regards to this. But you've got to play on until the referee blows a whistle. You don't just stand about. The referee's in charge of the game. He tells you when to stop playing and when to start playing again. And he didn't tell us to stop playing. He didn't tell Hull to stop playing. He didn't tell Griffin to drop the ball. He didn't tell Jake Connor to not tackle him or Adam Swift not to push him into touch or anything like that. It was carry on. Unfortunately,
if you change that rule, you'll have an awful lot of Huddersfield players feigning injury and throwing the ball on the floor.
You'll have every single team could turn around and, you know what, you're struggling a little bit to get out. You need to calm down. You need to calm the play down. You just throw it out and feign cramp in the last 20 minutes of a game. Oh, I've got cramp. It's warm weather outside. I've not took enough liquid on. I've got cramp. I'll throw the ball away. So then, as John Wilkins said, do you do it on severity of injury? Well, how are you going to quickly decide severity of injury? You can't do it. That's something that happens later.
And Kev,
it's unfortunate. I wish it hadn't have happened, but it's unfortunate it has. And unfortunately, Farge has done exactly the right thing. Yeah.
And if Theo doesn't go and score that, then we probably don't go for the one in the second half. And when Hull score their final try, they go 4 points in front, and I've got something to cling on to, and the game could be different. So, listen, we'd be absolutely fuming if Theo doesn't go over that line with that ball.
Yeah. Yeah, and I wouldn't blame anyone else. As I say, the list of players I've given, the list one from every club if you wanted me to. But if they go over for a try, because one of our players gets injured and throws the ball away and doesn't hold on, then it's on that player. It's on the player who's thrown it away. You look at Joe Batchelor goes off for a head injury assessment. Listen, I know I'm comparing apples with oranges here, but Joe Batchelor goes off for a head injury assessment and he looks like he's out of it. He's still got hold of the ball. And I suppose that's the difference in it, that he's down and he's kind of, it looks like he's out of it and he's still got hold of the ball. I suppose it's just a natural reaction rather than Josh Griffin turning around saying, I'm going to hold on to this ball and my Achilles is just blown up in my sock. He's just turned around and gone, and just his physical reaction is to drop the ball and concentrate on his Achilles. It's really tough on Hull. It really, really is tough on Hull. But it was play on.
Yes. Yeah, it is what it is. Aggie Parsi never made the 17 today, hamstring injury. Dan Norman's coming in on the bench. He's only played less than 60 seconds. What a 60 seconds it was, though, to get to a Challenge Cup final. Have we made a mistake in recent weeks in not blooding some of these squad players so that they're ready in case of injuries? I think we've talked about it, haven't we, about maybe a little bit of squad rotation and try and keep people fit, but to try and get some minutes into people. So I wouldn't even say on our part, it's a case of hindsight. Maybe will that come into Christian Wolf's consideration now as we go towards a final in July? Maybe try and get some squad players minutes in case we get these situations again.
I think we will. Whether it's a mistake or not, I mean, we've gone on. We've only lost one game, so I know that they say they play the next game that comes up. We have said that Dan Norman should go onto the bench for the likes of the league game. We've played teams who are in around the bottom four. I'm sure we could have found minutes for him in one of them games. I think coming up in the next couple of weeks, we've got the international weekend coming up as well. We have got some big games coming up. I think we've got Wigan, we've got Leeds. I mean, you can argue amongst yourselves whether Leeds, Warrington are big games, but we've got some that look big on paper. And I can see changes being made because with that international weekend, we're going to lose some players, and we're likely going to lose your Johnny Lomax, your Alex Walmsley. Morgan Knowles is in great form, so he might well go. It might be that we turn around and send 2 to England and 1 to the rest of the world, so we lose Coote, might lose Makinson. These players have got to get minutes, so we kind of have had to do it in the backs, and it looks like even forwards now we're short of quite a few. I think we're going to have to start blooding these players and give them longer. I think if the game had been 33-18 with 10 minutes left, Dan Norman would have got 10 minutes.
Big question. What happens if players say they don't want to play for the rest of the world team? They can't be prevented from playing for the club, can they?
I don't know.
Say no, Lachlan.
I don't know.
Say no.
Somebody state the answers to that in the comments. Can they turn it down?
I can understand internationals of like England internationals or proper international players. Obviously, maybe having to sit a game out if they don't want to play international, but you can't make someone play for a team that isn't a real team. Maybe.
Well, the big mistake was from whoever's decided whether it be the clubs or Super League to lash an international weekend and a league weekend on the same weekend. It's ridiculous.
I'll put it on record now. If one of our players goes and plays for the rest of the world team that they don't need to play for and get injured, I'll be fuming from it.
Yes, no, that's fair enough.
But yeah, different conversation, right? But performance-wise today, once our nerves settled and we got over the first 10-15 minutes, which is, I think I'll put down to cup nerves because we do tend to flap a little bit in the cup, just given what's happened in recent years. After that, I thought we were really good. And I know Hull got them a couple of tries which brought the score close, but apart from that, I never felt like it was going to be in any doubt.
Yeah, I noticed from the tweets. I thought we were good, especially as we've alluded to the last 20 minutes of the first half. I think second half, and especially at the start, there were a lot of stoppages in play, which were good for both teams in one respect. They could get some air in the lungs, but I think sometimes they slowed our progress. We were getting quick play the balls, and all of a sudden you slow that down, and it becomes a little bit bitty. Then you're trying to force things rather than it being naturally quick and flowing as you're going forward. You're trying to kind of hit lines and hit passes that you wouldn't really do. So they probably benefited Hull a little bit more than us. And even like you look at the Fanua try, that came from a penalty from the kickoff, I think, then a knock on in the tackle a little bit later on, then a 6 again. So again, did Hull bring themselves back in it, or was it a little bit of indiscipline from Saints that kind of started the ball rolling for them again? Because that was the Fanua try, was their first try after half time, and then they go on a roll and they score another. Horton scores, and Scott scores. So all of a sudden, does that then give them the kind of momentum? Possibly so, and that's off the back of our own you say 3 errors, and it's almost like the hitting the ball in the tackle as they pass it in your tackle. I hate calling that an error because I just think that sometimes you go in to wrap into a tackle, somebody passes it, it hits your arm. Yeah, fair enough, you give it a knock on, but it's not a knock on as in your own players shoveled it out to you and you've just spilled it, is it?
We'll go back to Wembley though, Kev. Does it really matter?
Well, I wasn't at Wembley last time, so it's been a while since I've been to Wembley.
Bet you wish you had been rather than where were you?
In the Dominican Republic.
Yeah. I bet you'd rather been at Wembley watching us get beat by wire.
No, I sat in the bar, the nice reception bar, drinking champagne, watching us get beat by wire. And because it was so many hours, I think we watched it in the morning because of the time difference. And then I went to Sults for a bit around the pool and then thought, oh, well, I'm going to the pool bar instead, and went for a couple of beers and drowned my sorrows there.
I had to put up with Kev Cunningham crying on Redvee TV. But there we go. Kev Cunningham, by the way, star of the BBC today. The cameras love him.
Yes, they did. He gets to a WD-40, couldn't that lad?
It was almost like they felt sorry for him. It was like, they're not letting you on Redvee TV, so we'll put you on national telly instead.
He is a massive stage for you.
I know it's a long second best to us, but there you go.
Fair play to him.
If we win at Wembley, we'll let him on.
Yeah, of course we will.
I think we're done and dusted. Oh, Saints fans, if you've not booked a hotel room for Wembley, booking.com, free cancellation on loads of rooms. Get in there quick before one of the other finalists get there, and hopefully we can all get tickets.
How much have they bunged you for that?
Give us 3 rooms, hopefully. Other hotel websites are available. Right, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and we will catch you in the week for the Redvee preview show ahead of our trip to the Leeds Rhinos. Up the Saints. Well done, the women. Hopefully you enjoy your evening. Kev, we'll have to try and get one of them to bring the trophy on if we can.
Yeah, I'm sure we can get someone on.
That's the mission. Catch you soon.
See ya.